Now student, I am going to make you understand the basic concepts which are there in the preparation of the consolidated balance sheet. That is our first part. And that is the most important part, the making of the consolidated balance sheet, which will involve the maximum of the questions, student. So to understand what are the basic concepts relating to the same, there are actually 4 examples which I have made to make you understand the same. So with these examples, we will actually understand the concept of making of the consolidated balance sheet, and these examples are there in your handwritten notes, students. So wherein you will also solve with me how to actually solve these examples. So coming to example number 1, the balance sheet is given. I have given you the balance sheet in the T shape basically, and in these examples only, because I will explain the concept, I'll also make the consolidated balance sheet in a T shape only, so that the main we understand the concept, and then the making of the consolidated balance sheet as per the format we will understand later. So that's not a problem. So the balance sheet is given as on 31st March 21, H Limited and of S Limited basically, and in the balance sheet there is a share capital 15 lakh, 8 lakh, creditors are there 5 lakh, 2 lakh, fixed assets 10 lakh and 7 lakh. There is an investment in 100% shares of S Limited basically 8 lakh 50,000, and there are current assets as well 1 lakh 50,000 and 3 lakh. Now in this case we have to make, student, consolidated balance sheet. We have to make consolidated balance sheet. So I will be writing here consolidated balance sheet. Okay, and we are supposed to make the same and then see how it is to be made, student. Consolidated means combined balance sheet. So making in a T shape only so that I can explain you the basic concepts. So liabilities and assets. So first is fixed assets. Now obviously fixed assets will be 10 lakh plus 7 lakh. If I have to combine the same, that will be 10 lakh plus 7 lakh, that is 17 lakh. That's very easy item. Investment I am not putting currently. We will understand why. Then there are current assets, which is 1.5 lakh plus 3 lakh. So the total is 4 lakh 50,000. Then there are creditors here, which is 5 lakh plus 2 lakh. These are the simplest items. 7 lakh. And then there is a share capital as well. If student, just tell me, if I combine each and every item and I make the combined balance sheet, that would be the most simplest thing. But just think and tell me, should I show these investments of 8,50,000 in this consolidated balance sheet? The answer is obviously no. Is it a case of a 100% wholly owned subsidiary? Yes, because 100% shares are acquired of the S Limited. However, holding company subsidiary company relationship can be formed even if more than 50% shares are acquired. But in this case, I have taken example of 100%. That's the most simplest one. Now, should I show here investments as well 850 and share capital of 15 plus 8 23 lakh? The answer is absolutely no, because this investment of 8,50,000 is nothing but these shares of face value of 8 lakh. These shares of face value of 8 lakh, and by actually purchasing the shares of the other company, it is nothing just like a kind of acquisition now. It is just nothing but like a acquisition now. So 100% shares means I am owning 100% of the other company, and by making a payment of 8,50,000, I am actually getting the net assets of the other company. There are net assets because this 8 lakh is nothing but, in other words, this is 7 lakh plus 3 lakh minus 2 lakh, and that is net assets. Actually 100% shares of face value 8 lakh, it actually means it actually means the net assets of 8 lakh, and we have acquired the net assets of 8 lakh rupees at a value of 8 lakh 50,000. So we have paid more. Just think, when we do in the plus 2 even issue of shares for consideration other than cash, if you are purchasing the business and we are making more payment, then the net assets acquired, what is the same termed as? That is goodwill. And also let me tell you that also, if in our chapter of amalgamation even the same things happen, but here it was initially standalone financial statement. When we are making consolidated, then we have to combine the same. We cannot show investment in the same balance sheet of the shares acquired of the same company. So in the consolidated balance sheet, we have to knock off, we have to cancel out the investment with the share capital of the other company, and that is nothing but the net assets of the other company. So there is one thing which is coming up here. Actually, by purchasing the shares, it is nothing but we have purchased the net assets of other company, and there is one thing which we compute, that is known as something known as, student, first concept which we are learning is cost of control. And this cost of control is nothing but either goodwill or capital reserve, which is a very easy thing. If I have paid more in comparison to the net assets acquired of the other company, basically that is goodwill. If I paid less, that is capital reserve. So my cost of investments is 8,50,000, or minus net assets acquired. Have I acquired 100% assets? The answer is yes, because it is a 100% basically subsidiary. So net assets acquired 100% was there. So total net assets is total assets 10 lakh minus outsider liabilities 2 lakh basically. So outsider liabilities was 2 lakh. So 10 lakh total assets and 2 lakh outsider liabilities basically. So that is coming out to 8 lakh. So student, this figure is coming as plus 50,000, and that is termed as goodwill. And if the same figure comes as negative value, it comes as a capital reserve, means we have paid basically more. So if we have paid more, let's say, then it is a goodwill. If we have paid less as compared to the net assets required, that is capital reserve. And these concepts, everything is written in your notes, so don't worry about the same. Means the definition of the concept, these are written. So I will make you understand the same as well, but I'm just trying to explain you how the basic working actually flows in this chapter. So the first thing basically which is coming up is, that is your cost of control here, which is your goodwill capital reserve. So here it will be covered as goodwill in our balance sheet, that is 50,000, student, and that has actually knocked off the share capital. So the share capital which will come only is 15 lakh. Means we have actually replaced the investment with the net assets of the other company by knocking off basically the share capital. And actually in your balance sheet you will see the total matches, and the total is how much, student? That is 22 lakh here, and here also 5 plus 7, 22 lakh. So I didn't put what all things, investment and share capital. Actually, if I will say you, while making the consolidated balance sheet, there is one entry which is getting passed. What is that entry? There is a holding company. Holding company's balance sheet is there. Now they are actually kind of acquiring S Limited for making of basically consolidated balance. So obviously there is a one general entry pass. Now what is that general entry pass is? That is fixed assets account debit, fixed assets debit, current assets debit, to creditors, to investment. So I have replaced investment in my books with the net assets of the other company. So the fixed assets were 7 lakh, current assets were 3 lakh, creditors were 2 lakh, and your investment was 8.5 lakh, and this entry has actually resulted in the difference of goodwill, which I have separately calculated, which is how much? 50,000. So this is the entry basically which is being passed while making the consolidated. We need not to pass the entry in our questions, but I'm just telling you, explaining you what is happening here. So while making the consolidated balance sheet, what we are doing, we are actually knocking off, we are actually cancelling the investment with the share capital, thereby replacing the same with the net assets. We are actually combining the same. And the difference of the cost of investment versus the net assets of the other company, if you have paid more in comparison to the net assets acquired, in that means goodwill. If less, that is kept as well. So that is the basically first criteria for making of the consolidated balance sheet in your example number 1, and each concept is written, student. So don't worry about this. I'm just trying to explain you the concept with the help of examples, and at the end I will conclude each and everything. So don't worry about the same. Now moving to the example number 2. Now try to see what is the difference in this particular example as compared to example number 1. So H limited, S limited, share capital is absolutely same, creditors are same, fixed assets are same, current, but there is one thing which is here, that is in the previous one it was 100% shares, in this case it is 80% shares. So is H limited a basically holding of S? The answer is yes, because the holding subsidiary relationship, it is because of the fact it is more than 50%. If it is more than 50%, then it is obviously your holding subsidiary relationship will be there. So if I have to make consolidated balance sheet, just see, don't write anything. Just see, but don't write until unless I tell you to write in your basically beta notes. So if I have to make the same, that is liabilities and assets. So fixed assets, you will obviously say, sir, since we have acquired 80% of the assets, so we should put 80% value. So that actually means 10 lakh, don't write, just see, plus 7 lakh into 80%. This would be the value. Okay. Then there will be current assets as, because I have to explain you one more concept here, the additional concept. That will be 1,50,000 plus 3 lakh into 80%. Then here would be creditors, that is 5 lakh plus 2 lakh into 80%. The share capital, that will obviously be 15 lakh, student, of the holding company. And then we have to find out the cost of control as well. The word was cost of control, either goodwill or capital reserve. So if I find out the cost of investments was 8,50,000 minus 80% of the net assets, because in this case by paying 8,50,000 we have acquired 80% net assets. That actually means the total assets were 10 lakh minus 2 lakh liabilities creditors into 80%. So for acquiring 80% of the net assets we have paid 8,50,000. That means 8 lakh into 80%, that is 6,40,000. That is resulting in goodwill of 2,10,000. So here the goodwill will come of 2,10,000. Now if I put the other values as well, let's say So 7 lakh into 80%, 560 plus 10, that is 1560. 240 plus 150, that is 390. 2 lakh into basically 80%, 160 plus 5 lakh 660. Is your balance sheet getting tallied? Here it is 2160. Here it is 3 plus 2, 5 and 6 and 2160. It is tallied. Now, what we have done, I have told you earlier also, don't write. But if you see here, you will say, sir, you have done correctly. Because what I have done in this particular case, I have replaced basically the investment, because I have acquired 80% of the shares. So I have replaced the same with the 80% of the net assets of the other company. And also I find out the comparison of the 80% of the net assets acquired versus the cost of investment resulting in goodwill. So that is absolutely true. But now listen me importantly, this obviously is making your consolidated balance sheet absolutely okay. But our AS number 21, which is the governing standard for the same, requires that we need to make full consolidation. We need to make full consolidation. Full consolidation actually means that even though we are not having 100% of the shares of the other company, because obviously holding subsidiary relationship can be formed even if it is more than 50%. Even if it is 60, 70, 80, 90%, if it is less than 100%, the relationship will be there and consolidation will be made. But we have to make full consolidation. That means we have to show all the assets, all the liabilities in totality. That means 100%. So that actually means we have to show the remaining 20% as well. So 7 lakh into 20%. You can directly show 7 lakh, student. You can directly show 7 lakh. So what you have to do, you have to show it just like the earlier question. That is 10 lakh plus 7 lakh. Now I am making the correction. So you will see that the values will be changed a bit, because AS21 requires full consolidation. So 17 lakh. What will be here? That is 1,50,000 plus 3 lakh whole. So that comes out to how much? 4,50,000. Total will also change. So it will be 4,50,000. And your creditors will also be how much? 5 lakh plus 2 lakh. That is 7 lakh. Good will obviously be 2,10,000. Good will obviously, because we have actually acquired 80%. So I cannot compare the 100% of the net asset with the 80% of the cost. So that is absolutely okay. This is absolutely okay, student. Because this is absolutely true. Because I have actually purchased 80% of the shares of other company by making a payment of 850. So 80% of the assets acquired by making 850. So that is resulting in goodwill of 2,10,000. But now comes another problem. The other problem which comes is your balance sheet is not getting tallied. And why it is not getting tallied? Because you are actually doing full consolidation. You are actually adding 100% of the net assets even though you acquire 80%. So in that case, there is one concept, one coming up is something known as minority interest. What I told you, minority interest. Now what is minority interest? And each and everything is written in notes, so don't worry. Minority interest is nothing but non-controlling interest. That means the percentage of the net assets which are not owned by the holding company, means the remaining 20% in this case, which actually means the remaining 20% in this case is your minority interest, and that value is to be shown separately in the balance sheet, student. So what we are going to do, we'll be showing minority interest here, and that is nothing but 20% of the net assets. Only then your balance sheet will tally. If you will see, only then your balance sheet will tally. So how much was the net assets? 10 lakh. minus 2 lakh into 20%. 10 lakh minus 2 lakh, that is 8 lakh into 20%. So that comes out to 1,60,000. Now check, is your balance sheet getting tallied? The answer would be yes. Here it is 860, so 2360. And here it is 660, 2360. So what have we learned in this example? In example 1, very easy, 100%. So we understood concept number 1, that is just we are replacing the investment with the net assets of the other company. So that is being replaced basically, and the difference is your goodwill or capital reserve. In the next example, the relationship can obviously be possible if it is less than 100%. So in that case, as per S21, we are actually doing complete consolidation, full consolidation. Okay, so the remaining net assets which are not owned by the holding company are to be considered as minority interest, means the shares which are held by the minor people. So minority interest is being shown basically, that is reflecting the net assets of the subsidiary company. As a separate item we have to show the same, student. We have to show the same. So that is your 20%. So if I ask you what is the entry getting passed here, that is fixed assets account debited 7 lakh, current assets debited 3 lakh, goodwill will come 2 lakh 10,000, two creditors will come 2 lakh, two investment will be knocked off basically 850, and two minority interest will also come 160. With that your basically these particular aspects are covered, because if we are putting only 80% of the net assets, your minority interest would not have been there, which I showed you earlier. But since we are making complete consolidation, 100% consolidation, that's why there is a concept arising, something known as minority interest, the net assets which are not held by, not owned by the holding company, okay, parent company. So that is your minority interest, student. So with this, your this particular example will get over. And don't worry, I just told you earlier also that each and every concept is there later, which I will explain you again and again. I'm just explaining you the concepts with the help of example. Now the next thing is, next example coming up here is, let us see the difference. On the asset side, everything same, fixed asset 10 lakh, 7 lakh, investment in 80% shares, again the same thing is there, and the shares are acquired on 31st March, which is obviously the case in the other examples as well, means we are actually purchasing the shares on the last day. Actually that's why we are making consolidate such a manner, so that's written, because that will be explained to you in the next example, so don't worry. Current assets are there. Now here, apart from the creditors and share capital, there is something known as reserve and surplus as well. So there is one new item which I have put, that is reserve and surplus, student. That is 2 lakh and 1 lakh, and we have to make what? Consolidated balance sheet. So let's try to make the consolidated balance sheet and learn a new thing in this example, which is actually a very easy example. Only thing is there is reserves and surplus also. So liabilities are there. And assets are also. So first thing is fixed assets. So fixed assets, student, are your 10 lakh plus 7 lakh, because we may do 100% consolidation, so that is 17 lakh. Then there are current assets. Now current assets are how much? 1,50,000 plus 3 lakh, that is 4,50,000. Then there is a share capital. That is 13 lakh. Reserve and surplus, we don't know how much to put currently. Let's see, we are not putting. Then there will be something known as minority interest as well. The reason is because 100% is not owned by holding, it is only 80%, so that's why minority interest will obviously come. And there are creditors, that is 5 lakh plus 2 lakh. that is 7 lakh. Okay, now we have to find out first thing goodwill or capital reserve. So that will obviously be a same kind of a thing. So cost of investment is how much, and this computation of goodwill or capital reserve is actually termed as cost of control, student, is 8,50,000. Then minus 80% of net assets. Obviously we are acquiring on 31st of March, so that means we have to consider 31st March net assets, and the net assets are 10 lakh assets minus 2 lakh liabilities into 80%. Okay, and obviously it is assets minus outsider liabilities. Okay, so you cannot deduct reserve and surplus here, student, because we are talking about the net assets acquired. That always means your assets and outsider liabilities. Okay, so 8 lakh into 80% is 640. So resulting in a difference of goodwill of how much? 2,10,000, same as in the previous example. So there is no change. So here in the asset side, goodwill will come 2,10,000. Okay, so this is our net asset. Basically we have put goodwill. Okay, now comes basically the other things. Minority interest is nothing but the net assets of the basically not owned by the holding. So that is 10 lakh minus 2 lakh into 20%. Because 10 lakh are the total assets, 2 lakh are the creditors. So the net assets are 8 lakh into 20%, that is 1,60,000. So minority interest is 1,60,000. Now reserve and surplus, obviously we are not putting the share capital also of the S Limited. Obviously because share capital and reserve and surplus is nothing but the other way of looking at the net assets. Because student, if you will see, the net assets are nothing but fixed asset plus current asset minus creditors, or you can say share capital plus reserve and surplus. So this will not come, only holding companies reserve and surplus will come here, that is 2 lakh. Because one way of looking at the net assets is assets minus outsider liabilities. The other way of looking at the same is share capital plus reserve and surplus. So if I put it this way, net assets, we have acquired the net assets on that day. So that is nothing, total assets minus outsider liabilities. Or you can say share capital plus reserve and surplus. That is one and the same thing. There is no difference at all. So that is one and the same thing. Total asset minus outsider liabilities, or you can say share capital plus reserve and surplus. So that is your 8 lakh which was coming up. So if you will see, your balance sheet total will get tallied here. So it will be 13 lakh plus 2 lakh plus 160 plus 7 lakh. That is 2360. And here also it is same, that is 23,60,000. So was there something new in this example? Yes. It was obviously exactly similar to the previous one, but there was reserve and surplus which was not affecting anything as of now. The reason being we have to show just the reserve and surplus of the holding till now what we have understood, and the net assets we are acquiring. So basically it is the net assets. So net asset basically means your assets minus outsider liabilities. So since the shares were also acquired on the last day of the year, so that's why there is no confusion at all, student. And the later example, in the next one, we will understand the implication of the other things as well, student. So one is the cost of control, which is our goodwill or capital reserve. That is the cost of investment minus we have to do the percentage of net assets acquired, basically. So 80% or 100%, whatever the case may be. If it is less than 100%, so there is something, one term which is coming up as minority interest, the non-controlling interest, the net assets which are not owned by the basically your holding company. So that is minority interest, which is the easy thing. Okay, and that obviously I can show the calculations as same, that is 10 minus 2, or you can show 7 lakh plus 1 lakh into 20%, because net assets means your assets minus outsider liabilities or share capital plus reserve and surplus. Here also we can show it basically 10 minus 2, or we can show 7 lakh plus 1 lakh. Okay, because why I am writing the same, because the same thing you will understand in the next example. So I am just mentioning you that the net assets are also termed as basically your total assets minus outsider liabilities or share capital plus reserve and surplus. That is one and the same thing. Now moving to the next one, a last, basically a conceptual example, a conceptual to make you understand the basic concepts. Okay, then I will revise the same with you. So balance sheet as on 31st March being given, fixed assets are there 10 lakh, 7 lakh, investment in 80% shares, again current assets are there, share capital, reserve, surplus, creditors. So absolutely same balance sheet, but the shares were acquired on 1st of April 2020 and the balance of reserve and surplus of S Limited was 40,000 on that day. It is 1 lakh at the end of the year, however it was 40,000 on that day. So now we have to make a consolidated balance sheet. Consolidated balance sheet we have to make, student. So here it is liabilities, assets. So fixed assets, which is 10 lakh plus 7 lakh, 17 lakh. Then current assets as well, 1.5 lakh plus 3 lakh, that is 4 lakh 50,000. Okay, then share capital, share capital is 13 lakh. Then there is something known as reserves and surplus, then there is minority interest will also come, minority interest, and then there are creditors as well. So creditors are 5 lakh plus 2 lakh, which is 7 lakh. Now we have to find out the goodwill or capital of basically cost of control. So cost of control. So cost of investments, which is 8,50,000 here, minus 80% of net assets acquired. Now in this case, net assets can I consider as I was doing in the previous 3 examples as well, that is 7 plus 3, 10 lakh minus 2 lakh creditors? The answer is absolutely no. The reason being, I actually purchased the shares on 1st of April 20. If I am comparing the cost of investments, I have to compare the cost of investments versus the net assets of the subsidiary on that date, means on 1st of April 2020. But do I know the value of fixed asset, current assets and creditors as on 1st April 20? The answer is absolutely no, student. Because these values of 7, 3 and 2 lakh are the values as on 31st of March 2021 and not as on 1st April 20. I need to know the value of the net assets as on 1st April 20. That means the date of acquisition, student. Because date of acquisition can be any day. So now here comes our easy approach, which I was telling you earlier. That was the net assets is total assets or outside liabilities if it was on last day, that we were doing in the previous example. But in this case, it is the share capital plus reserve and surplus. That is the other way of looking at the thing. So if you will see, the share capital is 7 lakh, that is intact. Obviously, if nothing is given, that is from the start. But total reserve and surplus are 1 lakh. But do we know the value of reserve and surplus as on the date of acquisition? The answer is yes. That is on 1st April 20. However, the reserve and surplus on that date was 40,000. It is given. So the balance of reserve and surplus was 40,000. That means the total net assets will be your share capital 7 lakh, reserve and surplus 40,000. So that means 740. And what we have to do? 740 into 80%, student, because we have acquired 80%. So obviously I cannot compare 850 with full 740. Okay, so I have to compare the 80% of the net assets acquired on that day with the cost, that is 592. So that is the reason why I was telling you that net assets is total assets minus outside liabilities or share capital plus reserve and surplus. That is the same thing, student. So share capital, reserve and surplus, and that always will be applied if our shares are not acquired on the last day. If your shares are acquired on any day other than the last day, obviously you have to go by share capital plus reserve and surplus. So that is the reason. So 850 minus 592, that is 2,58,000 goodwill. $2,58,000 goodwill is there, which will be shown in the balance sheet. So that is your cost of control, basically 2,58,000. Now comes minority interest and reserve and surplus as well. Now minority interest is nothing but simply 20% of the net assets. Basically, since 80% we acquired, because you will see that the acquisition was on what date? 1st April 20. And we are making consolidated balance sheet on 31st March 21. The reserve and surplus balance was 40,000 on that day and 1 lakh at the end of year. That actually means 60,000 profit was earned during the year. 60,000 profit was earned during the year. Now this particular 40,000, the profit which was there on the date of acquisition is known as pre-acquisition profits or capital profits. These are known as pre-acquisition or capital profits. However, this 60,000, the profits which are earned after the date of acquisition, are known as post-acquisition or revenue profits, or are considered as revenue profit, student. So your again a new thing which we are learning here is the profits which were there on the date of acquisition, that is known as the pre-acquisition profits, which was considered here basically in the reserve and surplus, basically share capital. So that is pre-profits, because we want to know the net assets on that date, and to find out the net asset we compare the share capital and the reserve and surplus, that is pre-acquisition profits, or you can also say capital profits. So by adding share capital and capital profit, we get the net assets on that particular day, and the profits which are earned after the date of acquisition are known as the revenue profits, Now if I need to find out basically your minority interest, there are two ways of looking at the same. The one way is simply your 20% of the net assets. Now net assets means acquired or even after the same. So that actually means you can do either 10 lakh minus 2 lakh into 20%, which we were doing earlier, because this is the as on date value. Or what you can do, or we can simply do the share capital on that day was how much? 7 lakh, 20%. Pre-profits, pre-acquisition profits 40,000 into 20%, and post-acquisition profits 60,000 into 20%. You can simply say, sir, total profits. Can we do total profits? Yes, it is the one and the same thing. That is not a problem at all. So it is one and the same thing. This is 8 lakh. This is also 7 lakh plus 40,000 plus 60,000 into 20%. That is one and the same thing. Because minority interest, the value of the net assets which are not owned by the holding company. That net assets value here is your as on date, because we are making the value on the date of basically making of the balance sheet. So that will always include the share capital, pre-profits and the post-profits. Or you can simply say total assets minus outside liabilities into 20%. So that value in any way will come, 8 lakh into 20% will come as 1,60,000. Will come as 1,60,000. Now comes one small problem which will be there. We have put the values fixed assets, current assets, share capital, creditors, minority interest value. I have told you in two simpler manners. Either it is total asset minus outside liabilities on the date of the consolidation, or share capital, pre-profits, post-profits, that is also nothing but as the net asset, as on the date of consolidation you can say. Now we need to find out the value of reserve and surplus. Now if you will see, student, our share capital 80% portion is considered here, okay, and 20% portion is considered here. That is right. For our pre-profits, that is the profits on the date of acquisition of 40,000, 80% is considered here and 20% is considered in minority interest. The remaining 60,000 profits which we earned post the date of acquisition, which are known as the post profits or revenue profits, the 20% value is considered in your what value? Your minority interest. But the remaining 80% value, the profits which are earned after the date of acquisition and the share of holding in the same is nothing but the revenue profits of the holding company, because these profits are earned by the subsidiary company post the acquisition. So they will be earned, they will be put in the value of the reserve and surplus, of the holding only. So what I am going to do it here, that this value of reserve and surplus is how the same is calculated. One is 2 lakh, it was there, plus post profits were 60,000, and in that 80% was the share of the holding company, that actually means 48,000. So it will be 2,48,000, because this is actually the real example. If I will tell you out of all the examples, because obviously I was making a base. Example 1 only goodwill capital reserve, example 2 minority interest, example 3 I put the value of reserve and surplus, but the acquisition was lost there, so there was no problem. Here the acquisition is on the first day, so we are actually understanding the other things as well, which is actually resulting in the computation of minority interest. While computation of the cost of control, we have to consider the net assets on the date of acquisition. So we go by share capital plus reserve surplus. Then reserve and surplus pre and post we are understanding. Then we also are considering that the minority interest is nothing but the 20% of each and everything in this particular case, okay. But the reserve and surplus which are actually earned by the subsidiary company post the acquisition by the holding are known as the revenue profits, and the share of the holding will be added in their profits, which are revenue profits. So it is 248. Now if you will see, let us do the total of the balance sheet, student. And don't worry, I will explain each and everything again and again, students, so don't worry at all. Obviously this is something new, so at the beginning it seems to be little bit obviously difficult part, okay, but it is very easy chapter. So 24 lakh 08, 17 lakh plus 258 plus 450, that is again 24 lakh 8,000. Okay, so this is the thing which has happened in this particular example. So the things which we need to find out: cost of control, that is cost of investment minus 80% of the net assets on the date of acquisition. Since we don't know the exact fixed assets, current liabilities, so what we are doing, or non-current liabilities as well, means the outsider liabilities, we are doing share capital plus reserve and surplus into 80%. Then minority interest is nothing but 20% of each and everything. You can go by the net assets or you can go by share capital or reserve and surplus, pre-profits, post-profits. Obviously the profits has two components, pre and post. Pre means acquisition, the profits till the date of acquisition, as on the date of acquisition, are also known as capital profits. Post acquisition are known as the revenue profits, and the 80% share in these profits will be added in the basically profits of the holding company, and then we can obviously do the consolidation part, student. So with this we are able to actually make our balance sheet also in this particular case. Now I'm just making you go through once these working notes, then again in the next video when we will understand the other things as well, I will explain you this same. Okay, now there are certain working notes which we actually make. Now this particular working note was not required by us till now because we are doing in a very simple manner. The profits were absolutely given in a normal way, because if I need to find out the cost of control, student, just think, there was share capital 80% and also the pre-profits 80%. Now I need to know what are the pre-profits. For that I need to make analysis of profits of the subsidiary limited, that is S Limited. In short we termed it as AOP. This analysis of profit is known as AOP of S Limited. By in a particular format it is there, which obviously with the help of the examples and questions we will understand. So don't worry about this. P&L, general reserve, other things are there, time adjustment which we will understand. The main thing is we know how to compute cost of control, which is either goodwill or capital reserve, which is cost of investments 8,50,000 was the case, and share of holding company in the net assets of subsidiary, that is 80%. And 80% of what? Share capital we have to do 80%, and also of the pre-profits, and the pre-profits are your basically capital profit. That was 40,000 in our example, since the acquisition was on the first day, student. So if the value is coming positive, it is goodwill. If it is coming negative, that is capital reserve, student. Okay, so these are the pre-profits, which are the capital profits. This was 40,000 in our case, very simple. So this 40,000 into 80% was transferred to cost of goodwill, cost of control, basically for finding out goodwill or capital reserve. Now next thing is we need to find out minority interest. Now what is minority interest? Also called as non-controlling interest, which is share of net assets which are not owned by the holding or parent company on the date of consolidation. If it is negative, if let's say, and we will do a question specifically if minority interest comes negative, what is to be done. I have written here the point, but no need to understand the same currently. It is a loss in consolidated P&L, which I will explain you with the help of a question later on only at the later part of the chapter. So don't worry about this point. Consolidated balance sheet, where it is shown, it is generally shown after reserve and surplus, before non-current liabilities, as a separate item. So there is a share capital, shareholder funds, share capital, reserve, surplus. Then we show basically what? Minority interest, then non-current liabilities and current liabilities as a separate item. And how it is computed? Basically you are 20% of everything, or 30% or 40%, let's say. Obviously it can't be 50%, because in that case there will be no holding subsidiary relationship. It can be even 49%, because holding relationship will come 51% and 49% will be minority. Okay, so minority interest will be, let's say in our example it was 20% of the everything, of the net assets, you can say, on the date of consolidation. Or what you will do, 20% share capital, 20% pre-profits, post-profits, or post if there is a general reserve as well. If there is a P&L separately and reserve and general reserve separately, so 20% of each and every reserve and surplus. So we have to do the same. So that is the thing here, which is minority interest, 20% of each and everything basically will be transferred to what? Minority interest. And then there is a consolidated general reserve or P&L. Means consolidated means which we find out the value 2 lakh was the holding company's basically value, if you will see this particular thing, and the share of the holding in the reserves of the basically subsidiary which was post acquisition. Okay, so this is the thing which is, that is holding company's general reserve or P&L plus post general reserve or P&L, which is share of the holding, 80% in the post profit, that is the revenue profits, which is this particular value, which is of general reserve or P&L. If they are separately shown, in our example it was combined as reserve and surplus. So there is a post general reserve, post P&L. Post means after the date of acquisition. Up till the date of acquisition, it is shown as a basically your under your cost of control, student. Post under that only. So these are the working notes which we actually make while solving our questions, and I will explain you the same again in the next video, because we will again understand something about this particular chart, time adjustment and other concepts as well. But in this particular video, we understood the basic concepts of, with the help of these 4 examples, finding out of the cost of control, that is your goodwill or capital reserve, that is the cost of investment versus the net assets acquired. If it is not 100%, then there is something known as minority interest. Then the reserves and surplus role was coming up if the acquisition, let's say in the 4th example, was on the first day. So we have to find out pre and post basically, and the bifurcation was done, and accordingly the values were put. So with this we have understood the basic concepts. Again we will revise the same, we will do more examples before we actually move to the questions part. So don't worry about the same. Let us move to the next video, student.